everything there is to know about Theme. Hey guys, we're here with the first episode of the Screenwriting Techniques series by Script Writing Tips. Today we're gonna talk about theme. Although to many it seems a bit vague, I can tell you that theme is the most important element of a screenplay. However, aspiring screenwriters don't take this as seriously as they ought to. This episode is a very important lesson you need to learn in screenwriting, and I will explain to you how the theme is going to help you write a better screenplay. In the first part of this episode, we're going to explain what theme is and why is it so important for our stories. In the second part, we will explain how we can use theme to help us write a better story. So stick around and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more content by Script Writing Tips. Every script must have a theme. It must have an argument to make, an opinion about life to support. Sometimes it is called a theme, sometimes it is called a moral, or an argument, or a message, or even a destination. No matter how you call it, all good scripts have it. If a script doesn't have an underlying theme, it will definitely be a bad script. It's going to feel like it's shallow or empty or indifferent. And it makes sense because anything in life that doesn't have an intention, a driving purpose, it seems futile, vain. Look at it this way. When you get to your car, the first thing you ask is, where am I going? When you go to the grocery, your first thought is, what am I going to buy? When you start watching a YouTube tutorial, you want immediately to know, what am I going to learn from this? You always want to know the result. You need to know that every action you do will lead to something that will lead to a specific result. So the question in screenwriting is, why am I writing this particular story? Why do I need to tell this story? What is my goal? Before we say more about what theme is, I'll tell you what theme isn't. When trying to describe your theme, don't use just one word. Theme is not a subject matter. Many people refer to their theme using only one word, such as the theme of my movie is about love, or responsibility, or betrayal, or feminism. Well, you can use one-word themes for the sake of speed, of giving a quick answer to someone, but that doesn't say actually anything. That's so generic that it won't help you at all if you are a screenwriter. So what is theme? Theme is your point of view, is the way you, as a screenwriter, view the world. Theme is not one word. Theme is one specific phrase, a specific message, or a specific question. Theme is your message that you're trying to get across to the audience through your screenplay. Every story must have a purpose, an argument, or a question. Every good script must have a destination. It is what the film is really all about, and it's what it gives the viewers that inner satisfaction when the movie ends, that they have watched a good film. Remember back in school where you had to write an essay in order to support a particular argument or phrase a philosophical question, and you started writing the entire essay keeping in mind that you needed to prove your argument? That's exactly what you need to do with your stories. That is the destination. Every good story must have a destination, a theme. All good stories do. But what do we mean by theme or destination or message? Do you know the kid's tale about Three Little Pigs? Its theme is to teach you to better safe than sorry. It shows that it's wiser to be careful and cautious than to be hasty or rush and do things that you will later regret. Themes are always clear and simple. Honesty is the best policy is what we learned from the film Liar Liar. Men should treat women more respectfully, is what Michael realizes in Tootsie and changes his attitude. families are important is what Kevin realizes in Home Alone. A screenplay doesn't have to be preachy. It doesn't even have to give an answer. A screenplay's purpose is not always to teach you something, but to make you question some things in life, to make you think. Many screenplays ask a philosophical question and then they let the audience decide what is the answer. The entire screenplay of Forrest Gump is a philosophical question about life. What is life? Is there a destiny for us?
Destiny. Or if
we're all just
floating around accidental like on a breeze. But I think maybe it's both.
How do we find theme in a film? Well, it's not easy to find theme. You must watch the entire film first and then contradict the beginning with the end of the film. Check, where did the protagonist begin from? Where did he or she end? What does he or she learn by the end of the movie? Most of the times you can find the theme from answering these 3 questions, but again, you need to do a lot of thinking. However, you should know by now that I prefer putting theory into practice, so let's try to do some reverse engineering and figure out how you should use theme in your screenplays. If you know your theme while you're making decisions for your screenplay, you can use it to find the best protagonist for your story, the best antagonist for your story, the best ending for your story, the best subplots for your story, the best secondary characters for your story. Yes, theme is that important. It can help you clear your decisions while writing and always be sure that you're making the best choice. Let's use the film Liar Liar as an example. I hope you all have seen it, so spoiler alert. If you want, you can pause the video here, go watch the film and come back. One could say that its theme is honesty is the best policy. The protagonist must always be the person that finds it more difficult to cope with your theme. So in this case where your message is honesty, the person who has difficulty with honesty is a liar. But what job should we choose for such a liar? Would that message work if the protagonist was a priest or a doctor? Nah, I don't think so. His profession had to be a profession that uses words to convince others. What better choice than to make him a lawyer? It's a job that is based on words. Do all lawyers lie? Of course not, but our guy chooses the unethical road to elevate his career. There are many antagonists of Fletcher in this film, but in order to make a liar to understand his flaw and be willing to change, the best antagonist to give him would be someone that loves him deeply, someone who wants the best for him, someone that Fletcher needs to keep in his life at all costs. And that's his little son. His son makes a birthday wish that his father would not lie for a day, and his wish comes true. Of course, when you have come up with a theme, the ending of your screenplay must deliver that message. In the end of Liar Liar, Fletcher manages to be a good lawyer and even save his really bad client, Samantha, by telling the truth. And then he wins back his son by choosing to be honest. Subplots. The film has the main plot, which is Fletcher's relationship with his son, and 4 subplots. It also has a few more mini subplots, but we're not gonna be bothered with those now. The 4 main subplots are his relationship with his ex-wife. She is frustrated with him for the way he is treating his son, and she's planning to take him away from him. His relationship with his secretary, who is his ally in his lives. His relationship with his 2 bosses. He sleeps with Miranda in the hope of becoming a partner in the law firm. Miranda is also a liar and she asks him to lie in order to win the case he takes, because this case will bring a lot of money to the firm. This other boss, Mr. Allen, doesn't really care if Fletcher is lying or is telling the truth. In fact, he laughs with the truth. What he cares is that his firm earns a lot of money. The case itself. Fletcher was ready to win this case by lying. However, now he needs to find a way to win it by telling the truth. Did you notice how every subplot in the film has something to do with lying and honesty? Secondary characters. All secondary characters have to connect with our protagonist in relation to his flaw. Some are against and some are in favor of his lying habit. The secondary characters in this movie are his ex-wife and her new boyfriend. She hates that Fletcher is lying and she threatens to raise his son with her boyfriend, an honest, loving guy. His woman boss, Miranda. She wants him to be a liar. She doesn't really care for him, she is manipulative. Man boss, Mr. Allen. He seems to prefer honest. He enjoys it when Fletcher is telling him the truth. He laughs, but he doesn't really care about it. All he wants is that his firm wins cases and earns money. His client, Samantha. Fletcher convinces Samantha that she is a victim and corrupts her. She is willing to lie to get as much money as she can from her ex-husband. His secretary. She covers his lies. She helps him get through with it until she learns that he's been lying to her as well. Judge Stevens. Fletcher cannot lie to the judge, and when later shows disrespect, he holds him in contempt of court. A beggar. Fletcher's lying to him also that he doesn't have money. A policeman. Fletcher reveals everything to the policeman because he cannot lie. Garageman worker. Now Fletcher is in the opposite side. The worker lies to his face and he can't do anything about it. As you can see, the theme, the message is very important and it can help you build a solid script. Soon we're gonna talk more on how to correctly build your main character, so stay tuned. Feel free to share your comments or questions in the comment section below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe for future videos. Don't forget to visit my website in scriptwritingtips.com as well as my Facebook page. Learn more about screenwriting by watching one or all the videos on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. This is Apollonia and Scriptwriting Tips.